Hello, welcome back to CNEN, your crypto news entertainment network. I'm Christopher. Let's get into this. Today we've got a packed show for you, from the UK rolling out digital IDs and experimenting with the digital pound, to new crypto laws in Australia, to explosive growth across Asia, and even possibly an altcoin season. There's a lot happening. So just as a reminder, please remember this is not financial advice. This is crypto entertainment news. Please always do your own research on any crypto project spoken about on this channel. Otherwise, let's get into it. So, first thing to talk about is the UK government has announced that by 2029, every adult in Britain will need a digital ID. That's basically a secure electronic version of your passport or driver's license stored in an app on your phone or available as a physical card. You can see that the government is talking about utilizing the service and similarities to Australia, which they can access private services from banking to buying alcohol with their digital identification. In Estonia, the digital ID has revolutionized parents' lives by enabling access to child benefits, health records, and other services. In Denmark, students can use their national digital ID to log in and automatically retrieve education records and qualifications in job and university applications. That would actually be really helpful. Yeah, so definitely some pros that are coming out of this, but there also could be some cons too. Um, so critics warn a system like this could be a giant target for hackers, and there are big concerns about privacy. Who controls the data? How will it be protected? And will ordinary people trust a system that centralizes everyone's identity in one place? Chris Linnell, head of global data privacy at Bridewell, said identity data would collectively create a tempting target for cyber criminals. Mr. Linnell continued, the digital ID will include a name, date of birth, nationality, and residence status, and a photo. So if compromised, this information could be used for impersonation or fraud. For crypto and digital finance, this matters because a national digital ID could easily be linked to how people access their bank accounts, wallets, or even pay with digital currencies in the future. So yeah, something to take into account. Moving on. So sticking with the UK, another big step forward. 6 major banks, including Barclays, HSBC, and Lloyds, are working on a digital pound project. Now, this isn't Bitcoin or some random coin. It's pounds, sterling pounds, in your bank account turned into tokens that can be moved instantly across systems. Imagine sending money to someone and it settles right away, 24/7, without waiting for business hours. The tech behind this is being built by a company called Quant Network. They specialize in connecting old banking systems with blockchain technology. If this takes off, we could see faster payments, lower costs, and a bridge between traditional money and digital assets. But it also raises a question. Will it compete with stablecoins? How will people trust digital bank tokens? And how will regulators make sure it's safe? So just diving into this a bit, Quant Network has released on their X account that Quant has been selected to create the new payments infrastructure and bank technology for the UK's tokenized sterling deposits. Though in the actual news updates, it does not actually say Quant is the network running this infrastructure. It says in with support. So they could be, but as far as I've read, they are not stating it, though on the same article down here, Gilbert Verdian, the CEO of Quant, stated, being selected for this project marks a pivotal step in the UK's financial evolution. This milestone goes beyond improving payments. It's about enabling new forms of programmable money that will fundamentally transform how value is moved and managed. Our involvement underscores Quant's leadership in digital finance as we work alongside the UK's leading institutions to build infrastructure powering tomorrow's economy. So the fact that this quote by the CEO of Quant is on the main news article from ukfinance.org, you could assume that it is being built on there. But other than that, Though on Yahoo Finance, though I'm not exactly sure where they got this information from. They are stating the technical backbone of the project will be provided by Quant Network, a UK-based firm specializing in blockchain interoperability. Though again, please do your own research. I am not sure the specifics on this all, but still very, very exciting for the UK Quant and all the financial utility cryptos out there. Moving on. Let's zoom out for a moment. Oh, what's that? Let's zoom out for a moment. A new trend is emerging. Digital evidence talking to other systems. In plain English, our digital footprints from blockchain transactions to online records are increasingly being used in courts, regulations, and investigations. Blockchain records as evidence. And that's a double-edged sword. It makes fraud harder to hide, but it also raises privacy concerns for regular people. It's another reminder that in the digital age, what happens online rarely stays online. One organization that is starting to attempt to capture this market is a small organization known as Digital Evidence, powered by the Constellation Network. A few days ago, the co-founder of Constellation Network, Altif Brown, met with Coinbase. Altif Brown, co-founder and director of community at the Constellation. And here is his post. Powerful discussion today on legacy leadership and the future of crypto in Black America. Grateful to share the stage with Coinbase, CB Ventures, A16 said, and the crypto tutors. Special thanks to Black Caucus, Republican or Representative Don Davis, and the Digital Chamber. So he took the opportunity as well to speak on digital evidence and how the Constellation Network is utilizing this. So is anything going to come of that? I am not sure, but it is cool to see another aspect of the crypto industry evolving. All right, moving on. Now on to investment news. Crypto ETFs. For those new to the term, an ETF is basically a fund that lets everyday investors buy crypto through the stock market instead of going through crypto exchanges like Coinbase or crypto.com. Websites like CoinGlass track how much Bitcoin and Ethereum these ETFs hold. When an ETF holdings grow, it shows more money from big institutions is flowing into crypto. When they shrink, it usually means investors are pulling back. Right now, flows are up and down, showing that institutions are still cautious, but overall, ETFs are an important sign of how much traditional finance is betting on crypto. You can see the Bitcoin ETFs are holding a total of 147.5 or $0.87 billion in assets, accounting for over 5% of the Bitcoin supply. That is quite a significant number. If you've ever looked at nutrition data when you're looking at the ingredients in some of your foods, they'll state that anything over 5% is quite a large amount for your diet, which in relation to the economic or financial industry, 5% of an amount is quite a large amount. So yeah, and moving on, we have the Ethereum ETFs with a total market cap of $25.11 billion in holding. I'm not exactly sure the percentage on that, but it is climbing. It's going up and going down, but week to week, it seems to be gradually increasing. And lastly, the Solana ETF is up to a strong start with almost $260 million total market cap. I believe this just launched within the last few days or the last couple of months. So exciting, $260 million in there. We'll see what happens. And watch as these numbers possibly continue to grow due to the regulation coming, likely seeing numbers from other ETFs being listed in the US coming soon due to the general crypto framework the SEC and other federal bodies have outlined. All right, let's head to Australia, the land down under, where the government has just proposed tough new crypto rules. They want crypto companies to follow the same rules in banks and financial firms by requiring a license called an AFSL. What does that mean? Companies will need stronger governments, stronger governments and conduct rules. Breaking the rules could mean fines of up to 16.5 million Australian dollars or 10% of their annual revenue. Some very small operators might get an exemption, but most crypto firms will have to comply. Critics say this could crush small startups who can't afford compliance costs. Supporters argue it will protect consumers and weed out scams. Either way, it shows the governments are done waiting. Regulation is here or it's coming. What do you think about the Australian regulation? Do you think it's fair, unfair? Let me know in the comments. Moving on. Let's talk markets. The big question, is altcoin season here? So it looks like altcoins are starting to, or lots of influencers and market watchers are pointing that altcoins are massively outperforming Bitcoin. FYI, these coins I am not endorsing either in the picture or what I talk about. It's just crypto news entertainment. The signs, Bitcoin's dominance is starting to flatten and some altcoins are seeing huge trading speed. On top of that, more attention is shifting to projects that focus on real world use cases like payment, identity, and tokenized finance. It's still early and it could be hype, but if momentum continues, the next few months could be very good for altcoin investors. What do you think? Is altcoin season here or do we still have some time to wait? Let me know in the comments. Moving on. So some of the biggest adoption news comes from Asia Pacific. A new report shows that crypto use in the region grew nearly 70% in the last year. The value of crypto transactions jumped from about 1.4 trillion to 2.36% trillion, nearly doubling. Countries like India, Vietnam, and Indonesia are leading the charge. Why is this? A mix of financial inclusion, cheaper remittances, and governments starting to support crypto through pilot programs. Vietnam, for example, or Vietnam, apologize if I butchered that, for example, passed a resolution to test crypto markets for the next 5 years. Singapore and Hong Kong are rolling out clear stablecoin rules as well. As I said in the previous section, regulation is coming. So while the West is debating regulation, Asia is moving forward and is becoming the engine of global crypto growth. Watch out, US. Asia's coming. Moving on. Another interesting story out of the UK. The Zebec network was highlighted in a report about stablecoins and salary payments in The Independent. This is in reader mode, as I don't have an subscription, wouldn't show up otherwise, though I want to state that I am not sure if this article is written independently or if it was paid for by the Zebec network or another close or tied to organization. Please do your own research. But stable coins, remember, are digital currencies pegged to real money like the US dollar or British pound. Zebec wants to use them for payroll, paying workers directly in digital currency. Imagine getting your paycheck instantly, even daily, instead of every 2 weeks, or monthly, or however you get paid. Literally, see the coins or tokens, stable coins, being dropped into your wallet as you work. What do you think? Is that coming, or are we still like a decade or two away from me? Moving on. And finally, politics in the US. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Alyssa Blotkin are calling for an investigation into whether some of the former President Trump's aides personally profited from crypto and chip deals linked to Saudi Arabia. This is still developing, but it highlights how crypto is increasingly tied to geopolitics and big money. Whether or not there's wrongdoing, expect more headlines like this as crypto moves deeper into mainstream finance and politics. So, what do we take away from all this? Governments are moving fast. UK, Australia, Asia, digital IDs, tokenized money, and new regulations are coming. Traditional finance is merging with digital systems. The lines between banks and blockchains are starting to blur. Crypto adoption is shifting toward Asia, where growth is explosive. And yes, altcoin season might be around the corner, especially for projects with real world uses. As always, the industry is moving fast, sometimes faster than regulators, and often faster than most people can keep up. So what do you think? Will digital IDs be a good thing or too much government control? Will you trust a digital pound from your bank? And do you think altcoin season is really here? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you found this helpful, and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive or daily news update. I'm Christopher, and this has been CNEN, your Crypto News Entertainment Network. Have a good one.